Speaker. I would like to raise the terrifying consequences of declining living standards experienced by my constituents in West Derby and people across the city of Liverpool. 1/3 of the people in my city are now in some kind of food poverty. 2/3 of my constituents having to cut back on hot water, heating or electricity. The crisis was not inevitable. It has been fuelled by political choices. By the political choice of Tory Governments to privatise our utilities and infrastructure. By the political choice to allow profiteering in supermarkets and the oil and gas companies. By the political choice of this government to inflict 13 years of brutal austerity on my constituents. By the political choice to cut off vital public services to the bone, to decimate the social safety net and state pensions, to strip away workers' rights and create a crisis of insecure contracts and low pay. The government's political choices have destroyed the services that can be the difference between life and death for many of my constituents in these times of crisis. The rise of 19.2% in the price of food in the past year is the highest since '77, alongside the sharpest fall in real wages since '77. The Resolution Foundation calculated that wages continue to grow as they were before the financial crash of 2008. The average worker would make £11,000 more per year than they do now, taking rising prices into account. Imagine how we would be now. Recently, the Food Foundation reported that child food poverty has doubled in a year. 3.7 million children, 1 in 5 have eaten less, skipped meals or gone without meals for an entire day. We're in danger of losing a generation of children to no fault of their own. Those who will shape the future of our nation will not reach their full potential because of the preventable scourge of hunger. It is disgraceful injustice that many of my constituents and so many children across this country are in this situation. Yet at the same time, inflation is being fuelled by greedflation, with supermarkets, food manufacturers, shipping companies protecting shareholder dividends by giving extra lift to prices. United Unions highlighted that, despite the rise in wholesale prices, Tesco, Sainsbury's and Asda still managed to increase their profits by an astonishing 97% in 2021. At a recent EFTA committee, we had evidence from the United Nations Special Rapporteur on the Right to Food, who told us corporations have a significant amount of power in markets, but governments have the tools in place to stabilise prices. In West Derby, there are nurses, educators, firefighters, postal workers, rail staff and civil servants all using food banks. This is one of the most grave and frightening crises we've seen in our lifetimes. The situation simply cannot go on. So I ask the Minister to intervene now to support my constituents and services in West Derby, curb the selfless profiteering by some companies in the food supply chain and energy industry. I also call on the Minister today to make food a legal right for all, to enshrine the right to food in legislation, to end the scandal of hunger and food banks once and for all, beginning providing universal free school meals for every primary and secondary pupil in state education. Let's heed this evidence and invest in our communities and our children. We don't need stick and plasters, we don't need tinkering around the edges. We need the kitchen sink thrown at this dire situation for millions to transform the future of our nation. We should demand nothing less and settle for nothing less.